It's the American Conference on ESPN. A meeting of two programs who haven't faced off since 1951 as Wichita State welcomes Missouri to the Roundhouse. Alongside the former coach Mark Adams, the Tigers enter today off a very impressive win over Oregon on Wednesday. Mark, this is a team for Conzo Martin who can really make a push in the SEC.
Yeah, and Xavier Pinson is the guy to watch. He reminds me of the great Olympic slalom skier Lindsey Vonn. Yeah, that Lindsey Vonn. Why? Because they race downhill. Nobody faster than Xavier Pinson going north and south to the rim. He is exciting to watch.
Pinson had 19 in the second half against Oregon to win that game. On the other side, Tyson Etienne had 17 of his career-high 26 in the final 11 minutes for the Shockers.
He is a play-angry type of guard, work ethic, blue-collar, lunch pail kind of guy who went off in the second half in the win against Oral Roberts. And here we go in the Roundhouse in Wichita.
A huge early season test for these two teams at an empty Roundhouse in Wichita, Mark Adams, which is a rare sight, one of the best venues in college basketball.
I miss the fans. We just had the national anthem and no one was singing. Here in Wichita, Chucky, everybody sings the national anthem. It's one of the more inspiring pre-games in college hoops.
What are we looking for first 5 minutes of this game?
I think as far as Wichita State goes, it's about getting Dexter Dennis into the flow and getting the ball inside just like that. Altrique Gilbert into Morris Udeze.
The grad transfer from UConn with a nice cut to the hoop. Udeze, a much bigger role this season. Good feed inside. Jeremiah Tillman is a really nice passer. He finds his battery mate Kobe Brown.
Big number 23, Jeremiah Tillman, once upon a time played like he wanted to go to the NBA. Now he's playing like he wants to win games for the Missouri Tigers. Good passer in the post, good scorer down low. A man's rebound.
He's been rebounding the ball really well across the first week. This Missouri team on Wednesday, Mark, as he lobs it up to Tillman. Nice feed from Drew Smith. We saw them come out with great energy on Wednesday. We're seeing it again in the first minute.
And Jeremiah Tillman is leading that charge. The big dude has gotten a lot better.
And he can move really well. Such an asset defensively from that standpoint. 3 off the mark from Trey Wade. Here come the Tigers. Downhill, Smith, up and in, tough finish, a scoop layup on the right side of the lane.
Boy, the defense for Wichita State has simply broken down early, and Missouri is more than happy to expose the white jerseys of the Shockers.
Here's Tyson Etienne, career-high 26 on Wednesday in a 5-point win over Oral Roberts in this building. The Shockers only had 8 players. Tonight they have 10. Dennis bumped and falls off. Tillman pulls it off the rim.
Well, that's where Dexter Dennis has to go up and just dunk that thing. He had a wide open rim to go to.
Pinson for 3. Conzo Martin throwing his hands around. Did not like that possession one bit.
Well, they've been getting inside to Tillman and had success. So why fire it so early?
Udeze working on Jeremiah Tillman. Tillman just let it happen.
Yeah, that's
Great
a one-on-one matchup. Now you'll see the Shockers, they will definitely get into Jeremiah Tillman as we look at the dunk in the full court offense by Missouri. But Udeze, Missouri feels they can defend him one-on-one and not help. Advantage Missouri.
Last year it was Jamie Echenike who was their leading scorer, really talented big guy. He's going to be tough to replace. Udeze's task is a tall one. Etienne looking for his first shot, lost it. Here's Drew Smith out in transition. Missouri, a 10-2 run out of the gates. Isaac Brown, interim head coach, 7th season on the Shockers staff, and got his first win on Wednesday, but he's got to deal with, I think, one of the most arguably underrated teams in the country this first week.
Yeah, Missouri has been very, very impressive. They look like a top 25 team. They're picked for 10th in the SEC. 10th in the SEC. This is not a 10th place team in the SEC. I got news for you. This team's loaded. Drew Smith, Mark Smith, Xavier Pinson, Jeremiah Tillman down low. This team has weapons, and you're seeing them early here in Wichita as Missouri has dominated this Shocker bunch.
Well, Wichita State has to make an adjustment somewhere. Where should they be looking offensively right now?
I think they've got to be patient, move the basketball, try to find Dexter Dennis a little bit, but credit that Missouri defense. It has been stingy.
Drew Smith on the floor. Now Etienne looking inside. A good finish underneath. Clarence Jackson, the sophomore from Dublin, Georgia.
I like Clarence Jackson. The reason is he understands his role. He can make athletic plays like this one. He finishes the simple plays. I think he's going to be an energy giver to this team, and I think he's going to be a key guy for Isaac Brown as they get into the American, into conference play.
Jackson, big JUCO pickup for Isaac Brown and company. From Polk State College, spent just 1 year there. 9 points, 8 rebounds in the opener on Wednesday. Dennis runs down the free throw rebound.
Jackson gives this team energy. Now Dexter Dennis gives him energy with an offensive rebound.
Gilbert kicks it out. Jackson looking for another bucket on this possession. Mitchell Smith corrals the rebound.
Watch how Missouri runs through the big fella, number 23, Tillman.
Jump ball, Dennis with a nice defensive play from behind Xavier Pinson.
That's where Dexter Dennis can make the biggest impact. Now, yeah, can he score points? Can he get it going? Is he streaky? Yes, he's up and down. But defensively is where he can be consistent because he can defend at the NBA level at multiple positions. He's got size, strength, quickness.
This is Drew Buggs, Drew Smith, and Tillman. Looking on Isaiah Poorbear-Chandler, kicks it out. Buggs, baseline, 8 to shoot.
He walked.
He did, looked like he shuffled his feet clearly. Inside to Tillman, and he is fouled. Missouri makes something out of absolutely nothing. The Tigers off to a 10-4 start here in Wichita. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's, home for the holidays.
Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
10-4, Missouri leads Wichita State. 4 minutes, 15 seconds in. Here, an empty roundhouse in Wichita, Kansas. Jeremiah Tillman at the line for the Tigers, who have come out hot in this first quarter. What's the message from Isaac Brown on his bench right now? How do you get back in this game and weather this storm right now?
You've got to show up your post defense right now. All 10 points, and now 11, because they're being scored from the free throw line, have come from points in the paint. Jeremiah Tillman has dominated inside, and they're going to have to send a second defender to get the ball out of his hands for sure.
Etienne going to work. Certainly had the hot hand. He has mounds of confidence. Mark, he was pulling up from everywhere, hit some big shots. Tariq Gilbert off the mark. That goes off Mitchell Smith. Inbound for Wichita State as we take a look at Konzo Martin in year number 4 for Missouri. And Mark, the last 2 seasons are the first time in his head coaching career that he has had back-to-back losing seasons. Now, they weren't bad seasons. They had 15 and 16 wins, but this is a guy who knows how to win, and I think he's got a team that can get Missouri right back to prominence.
This team's really, really good. They understand their roles. They play together. They're unselfish. I really like this Missouri team. What I've seen early in the season, boy, they're good. I think Houston's really good. They've caught my eye, obviously, a top 10 team. Missouri would be right there right now. I really like Missouri.
Rebound by Parker Brown, who's off the Missouri bench. Played about 8 minutes in each of the first couple games for the Tigers. Pinson back to Buggs. Screen from Brown.
The guards are always got their head up. They're always probing the defense. The ball moves, good on-ball screens. Great pass.
Inside to Smith, puts it up, and he traveled first, and you can credit Tyson Etienne with the help on defense.
But Xavier Pinson just saw that window. There's the screen. There's Smith inside. And the official calls the walk. And we'll go on to the next possession. But Xavier Pinson just so good at seeing open teammates.
Love the reaction from Etienne on defense right there. They need something. They're one of their last 8 from the floor.
And now they've got Xavier Pinson matched up with Etienne. They're trying to give him the ball, but Pinson just coming up trying to deny Etienne the basketball. So far effective. There they are, 1 versus 1. Watch this matchup.
Etienne fades away. Too strong. Corbett Chandler taps to his teammate. Floor looks slippery. There's a travel. It's just looks like Clarence Jackson hit a slick spot there in the lane.
Kind of ends up on a foot. That's what he slipped on.
Yeah.
He stepped on a foot. Apparently those bright yellow basketball sneakers are a little bit slick. They look slick. Chucky, you'd look good in those.
I can't pull that. I can't pull that off.
No, you'd look good in those.
I gotta stay a subtle style.
No, man, you gotta step out a little bit. You're young enough to pull that off. I've seen your wife. She's pretty. You got game, man. Use it.
Appreciate that. Pinson for 3. Tillman rips down a rebound.
It's a man's rebound. That's an NBA rebound. The NBA stands for no boys allowed. Jeremiah Tillman just went up and got a man's rebound.
Kobe Brown, big jump stop. A little bit of a wild shot, and Udeze has the rebound. Etienne slicing through the lane, and he traveled.
Well, the Missouri defense has just been suffocating here in the first 6.5 minutes of this game. Now, that's where Wichita State, I think, has been challenged. Only having 8 healthy players. They don't look like the same defensive team that we've seen in the past because they're not getting the 5-on-5 repetitions. Whereas Missouri, they've got a full complement of players. They're even better defensively so far today than they were against Oregon.
Kobe Brown stripped away. Good hands from Clarence Jackson. It came to shoot around this morning. You got to see him practice yesterday. It's just bizarre. In a lot of ways, it's bizarre just to see 8 guys out there. I mean, they can't do the normal things that you would see in a shoot-around. You can't run through the stuff that you normally run through.
And you've got a new head coach that has a decimated roster of only 8 players having to manage through practice. And there's the dunk from Jeremiah Tillman from Drew Smith. Man, Missouri is impressive.
They have hit a groove early in this season that I think has Tigers fans very excited.
They're all over the perimeter of Wichita State.
Trey Wade, he might have been fouled right there, but a rebound to Mark Smith.
It's a clinic.
Drew Smith got lucky, that one right to Tillman. He looks confident, doesn't he, Jeremiah Tillman, right now?
You know, he's changed his body. He's in such great physical condition that he's just dominating in the paint right now.
Travel, Mark Smith lost it, fell down. Not a picture-perfect possession there from the Tigers. They like this one, though.
Just unselfish play. You know, Drew Smith, Conzo Martin calls him the best two-way player offensively and defensively in the SEC. And right now, this team is understanding where the big horse is. And they are feeding that big horse. And that big plow horse knows where the barn is. He's going right to the rim.
Jackson in some trouble. Almost traveled. Trey Wade now.
Man, there's nothing easy.
Jackson quick, and that's off the mark. Mark Smith with a rebound. He wants to run. Smith, little Euro, blocked against the backboard, but right there to clean it up, Javon Pickett. Missouri all over the Shockers early on.
Wow, what a great ball game. Unbelievable.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge on ESPN. Can't wait. Love that series. We'll have all those games on our ESPN family of networks. Love our game today. Missouri's off to a great start, Mark, but I still think this is a talented Wichita State team. They are not going to be an easy one in the American Conference, even after everything that's happened over the last season with this program.
Well, Wichita's strength is their guard play. The bad news is Missouri's strength is their guard play and their interior play. And so far, nothing has been easy for Wichita State.
Udeze, air ball.
Jeremiah Tillman just owns the paint right now. It's an unfair fight.
Drew Smith happy to slow things down. They're trying to get it to Tillman. That one is batted. Udeze is battling inside right now.
Well, look at that defensive transition from Missouri.
Wade was open for a second. Gets it up quickly. Nice play there by Trevin Wade, Trey's younger brother, who just joins the program this season.
Yeah, that kid is tough on tough. He's going to be a really good guard for Wichita State as he continues to mature. He does not back down to anybody. Now matched up with Drew Smith. There they are. "12 versus 12. Drew Smith's going to try to use the freshman a little bit. Great pass inside.
Into Tillman, he's tripled. Mitchell Smith tips it away. Right to Mark Smith. A lot of first and last names for Missouri because there's so many Smiths on this team. Great take, just off the mark. Dexter Dennis pulls it in.
Well, you got to try to push it before all the black jerseys get back, but they are so well schooled in defensive transition. And every time the ball stalls, it allows Missouri's defense to set.
Alterique Gilbert. Tough to get it over the 6'10 Mitchell Smith.
Great pass.
Foul underneath goes against Tillman, actually, trying to get some space on Udeze. Coming up 5 Eastern on ESPN, 20th ranked Kentucky takes on Georgia Tech in Atlanta on ESPN and the app. Kentucky, tough loss to Kansas in the Champions Classic. They get a really good Richmond team.
And Georgia Tech coming off a loss to Mercer and Georgia State. So Georgia Tech needs a win badly, and Kentucky coming in.
Warbear Chandler pulls down an offensive rebound. Wichita State, just one of their last 9 from the field. It was a 4-minute and 30-second drought for them prior to that last bucket. Oh, nice defense. That's going to go the other direction. Great job by Dexter Dennis in transition.
Yeah, here's that NBA defensive ability from Dexter Dennis. Watch him. He anticipates that move. That is just perfect position. Takes the charge right there. That is studying video, understanding who's driving the ball, who likes to go right back to left with Drew Smith, and that's just tremendous preparation by Dexter Dennis.
And better defensively, Missouri's turned it over 4 times in the last 4 minutes, so Wichita State's defense has picked up a little bit, but still at this end, struggling. Alterique Gilbert, another air ball, rebounds it on his back and tries to call timeout. They got Kobe Brown for a foul.
That's a foul? For going after a loose ball that's right in front of you? I mean, do we have to take the hustle out of the game? I mean, there might have been a little contact there. Dude's on the ground with the basketball. You ought to be able to go down and reach for it. Oh, well. Let's play on, Chucky. Let's play on.
Gilbert, nice feed inside. Oh, wow, tough finish. Clarence Jackson, they needed it.
Clarence Jackson, he's that key guy. Now turnover to see if Wichita State gets something going. Jackson again, finish.
Why not? Feed him.
Yeah, good decision.
Clarence Jackson with 6 off the Wichita State bench, their leading scorer.
Yeah, Clarence Jackson, he's comfortable in a scrum. This is kind of how he plays, and I love his energy. And then Altreek Gilbert, the very next possession, knows Jackson is getting it going, gives him the basketball. Cerebral point guard play.
Unselfish, and again, we'll talk about it all day long, but this is still a really talented Wichita State group. Regardless of the guys that left, this is a group that is very talented. And you've mentioned it a couple times with the tough guards. It's Wichita State. I mean, this is a guard factory. It's a tough, hard-nosed guard factory. 23-8 last season, 4th in the American. The 16-game non-conference home winning streak. That man right there, Isaac Brown, named interim head coach on November 17th.
Has been an assistant to John Brady, to Mike White, to John Pelfrey, to Richard Williams. Very well prepared to be a head coach at Wichita State.
Jackson has the rebound. Here come the Shockers. Trying to cut it to a one-possession game. Altreek Gilbert in some trouble. Says, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, Altreek Gilbert is starting to exert his will on this Shocker basketball team. And Drew Smith with the finish. The best two-way player in the SEC? He might be. This guy's physically strong. He defends like a madman. He's physical. And offensively, just attacks the rim so hard, so well. And you can't bump him off the ball. He's too strong.
Hey, play one, straight in on the backside.
Chance to finish the three-point play for the senior from Edwardsville, Illinois.
Excuse me, that's Mark
Mark Smith.
I apologize. I'm mixing up my Smiths today. Mitchell, Mark, and Drew.
I'll give you one. You get one.
Okay.
You get one.
Yep.
Ooh, almost taken away by your man, Drew Smith.
Boy, Gilbert is hunting his shot.
Can't get the roll. Poor Bear Chandler goes down.
What a pass.
They're going. Mitchell Smith, 2 hands.
Mark Smith to Mitchell Smith. No relation. But brothers on the break.
Seen more from Wichita State at this end of the court. Poor Bear Chandler, mid-range jumper. Pinson pulls it down. Couple bodies hit the floor. Pinson, Mark Smith, 3. Etienne, still looking for his first bucket and fouled on his way to the hoop. Wichita State down 9 as we have a timeout on the floor, but they've looked better the last few minutes, especially at the offensive end, Mark.
Yeah, Wichita State trying to find their offensive mojo right now, and Altreek Gilbert is that guy that's been able to get up and down, make some plays. He's hunting his shot in the half-court set, and he's showing some leadership right now, Chucky, and that's the biggest key for Wichita State right now and why they're down 8. But Altreek is getting it done.
We welcome you to Wichita, Kansas. Missouri leading Wichita State 20-12 alongside Mark Adams. I'm Chucky Kemp. The Tigers got out to a fantastic start. Things have settled down a little bit here, though, Mark, and now Wichita State getting into more of a groove on the offensive end.
Yeah, you know, when you look at Wichita State, they've really lacked the opportunity to go 5-on-5 with only 8 available players for this game, scholarship players for this game. And for Missouri, now listen, Chucky, we've done a few games now together. How good is Missouri? They're picked 10th in the SEC. 10th.
Not a chance.
The 10th team? I mean, I think they're 1, 2, 3-ish the way I see them. They've got such tremendous players returning. They return 88% of their scores. They've got Xavier Pinson, who's like Lindsey Vaughn. We're talking about a slalom skier, just slither and slide down the slopes. Both of them so fast downhill. And then you've got multiple Smiths that can play. Drew Smith, Mark Smith, Mitchell Smith, and there might be a Brown tucked in there too. And this is a really talented team that can guard you, and they're so physically strong and mature.
Well, you talk about experience being important this year. Missouri has it. On the other side, Isaac Brown takes over for Wichita State after the saga with Greg Marshall comes to a close in mid-November. Marshall, the head coach from 2007 to 2020 here at Wichita State. He is the all-time winningest coach in this program's history. 8 players entered the transfer portal this past season as this was ongoing. He resigned on November 17th, a settlement with the school of $7.75 million that will be paid out over the next 6 years. Wichita State announced in October that they were hiring a firm to conduct an internal investigation into Marshall's conduct after alleged incidents with former players. Isaac Brown takes over a program that is so respected across the country, that has become quite the destination for players. And Isaac Brown has an opportunity now to steer this program forward with a group, Mark, that we've talked about that we both think is still pretty talented, even after everything they lost from a year ago.
Yeah, Isaac Brown clearly has earned the respect of his players. When you watch him practice, I got a chance to watch him in video. In fact, a year ago, Chucky, I stood in the Shockers locker room before a big American Athletic Conference game, and I watched Isaac Brown give the scouting report. He addresses the team like a head coach. He now is the head coach, and they respect him. And I saw him yesterday do the same thing in breaking down video for the game preparation for Missouri. He's earned this job, and I hope he keeps this job.
Got his first win on Wednesday over Oral Roberts. What a moment for him. 7th year here at Wichita State. Good core group to do it with, and they weathered a storm here early on. And it fought back to make this just a 2-possession game. Great feed from Xavier Pinson, but Brown can't finish at the hoop.
Yeah, Isaac Brown went zone on that possession. Missouri got the shot that they wanted. Again, that's a veteran team that understands a switching defense and still got the ball inside. 18 of 20 points for Missouri have been in the paint in this game.
6 players have already scored for the Tigers. 3, Trevin Wade.
What a block off.
We're going to stay at this end. Looks like a foul on Javon Pickett, boxing out Clarence Jackson, who's been really good for the Shockers off their bench and leads them with 6 points.
So watch Pickett, watch his elbow as he hooks right there. See, he gets his elbow up. Otherwise, that's a perfect block off. He just gets his elbow up in the face, and they're going to review it. It's a basketball play. Let's play on it.
Clarence Jackson said, hey, you saw it, didn't you? Javon Pickett, junior from Belleville, Illinois.
Chuck, you know what I love about that play, though? Watch the shot goes up. Watch the physical block-offs. Everybody checks. Everybody checks. Drew Smith goes to the board, but he checked his man first. That is a physical Conzo Martin-type block-off. Common foul. We will play on. Chucky, I had that call in 2 seconds.
I'll give our officiating crew credit. Doug Sermons, our crew chief, Will Howard, Owen Short. They took care of that quick. Went over, took a quick look, and we play on.
But I was faster. I want to go on record that I was faster.
You were faster.
Yeah. So they paid me that big money, Chuck. Watch when the shot goes up. Watch the black jerseys block off. Make physical contact. Walk. Here we go.
Turnover against the Shockers, their 5th.
So Wichita State went zone 1 possession. Let's see what they do here. They're going zone a 2nd possession. Remember, they got inside the last time from Missouri. See how they move it inside out.
Pinson 3. 2 teams are combined 0 for 12 from beyond the arc in the first 14 minutes.
So why is Isaac Brown going zone? He only has 8 guys. So he's got to play some zone with only 8 guys just to save some legs.
Missouri does like to get out and run. They did it a lot against Oregon. Brown on the putback throws it over the board, but a foul called.
watch the convention of black jerseys at the opposite end when the shot goes up and misses. There's one black jersey, there's two black jerseys, there's three black jerseys. You think they don't want to get up and down?
Tuesday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. The exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese and the guys break them down from top to bottom, and a live interview with committee chairman Gary Barta. Definitely have a shakeup after last night. BYU and Coastal Carolina going head-to-head. Coastal Carolina winning that one. A really fun watch. So certainly a shakeup coming in the college football playoff rankings. We'll see how high Coastal Carolina can climb.
Cincinnati's better.
I think you're right.
I think Cincinnati, they might be a top 14. I think they deserve serious consideration. You know what? They might be better than Ohio State. There, I said it.
Question is, will they get a chance?
That's exactly right.
Will they get a chance?
They certainly deserve a chance. Nick Fickle's done a tremendous job with that Bearcat program. Everybody talks about Ohio State, but I'm telling you, Cincinnati is legit.
Pickett taken away, turnover. Here comes Wichita State.
By the way, I'm a Cincinnati parade. Just so we're clear.
No way.
Yeah.
And they let you come to Wichita still?
Absolutely. In fact, you and I have something in common. The Northwest Missouri State Bearcats.
Yes.
And the Cincinnati
That's true.
Bearcats.
We're both Bearcats in our own right.
Yep. So you're surprised I knew that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll give you some credit.
Let's see if Altree Gilbert can get Tyson Etienne involved. Etienne was the leading scorer and led the Shockers to the win over Oral Roberts University earlier this week. He's got to get into the flow for the Shockers to have a chance to win this thing. He and Dexter Dennis. Gilbert, bang!
And it's back to a three-point game. Up top, nice finish by Parker Brown at the other end.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Morris Udeze come to the bench real quick, but you know what? With only 8 players, who do you bring in?
Yep.
Chandler Portbear, I'd bring him in right now.
Trey Wade. Oh, what a finish on the reverse.
Wichita State hanging around. Boy, I miss the fans. You know what? This place be going nuts right now, Chucky.
One of the teams, so many will miss the fans, but this is a program that certainly will. Mitchell Smith short on the three, rolls right to him. Mark Smith rises and fires. And Mark Smith puts the Tigers back up 6.
Off the offensive glass. Gilbert has been the shining star for Wichita State here in the first half. Number 3 in white, the transfer from UConn, has led this team in their half-court sets.
Dexter Dennis. And Parker Brown has the rebound. Here come the Tigers. Drew Smith weaving. Back to Brown. He'll fire away. Got it from 3. His brother gets all the attention at Kansas. Parker with an impact off the Missouri bench tonight.
I know it's early. This is a big possession for Wichita State. The way Missouri's playing right now, you've got to score here.
Trey Wade, Etienne, tough. Jumper.
That rebound was devoured by 4 black jerseys. There were 8 hands going after that rebound.
6-0 run for Missouri in just 30 seconds. Drew Buggs. 6 to shoot. Parker Brown. He's got the hot hand right now. 2 to shoot. Deep 3. And a good stop for Wichita State. They needed it. But Missouri is up 9, Mark.
Conzo Martin basketball. You can't be too physical. You can't attack too aggressively. Points in the paint, the key for this mature Missouri basketball team.
Missouri leading Wichita State 30-21. We're at the Roundhouse, Charles Koch Arena in Wichita, Kansas. The Shockers down by 9 to Missouri, a 6-0 run for the Tigers in a great matchup, and the guard play in this one specifically. Love the clashing guard matchups between these two teams.
You know, with all those guards out there, the one guy that has shined, other than Altreek Gilbert for Wichita State's Clarence Jackson,
Yep.
number 25 in white, has been active.
And Mitchell Smith, quick pass to Pickett, and swing it around. Missouri, this is not a stagnant offense by any means. 3 ball, good from Drew Smith.
Xavier Pinson with a little fake pass right, coming back left, throws that zone defense. That's what set up the wide open jump shot.
There's Trey Wade, the UConn transfer, Altreek Gilbert with it. Etienne still trying to get him going. He has 2 points, both came at the free throw line. He's 0 for 4 from the field. Altreek Gilbert rises up. Big shot from the UConn transfer.
That grad transfer, he brings some toughness and skill to this Wichita State offense.
Coming up on the E-Trade halftime report, Kevin Connors, Seth Greenberg, and Dallin Cuff. It's a preview of Creighton and Kansas, and then those Kentucky growing pains, another young group for John Calipari.
What if Marcus Garrett is healthy? He would seem to be suffering from some type of an ailment. The other night, played through it, was not COVID positive, although in this environment, I'm not sure the wisdom of playing a young man who shows any symptoms, but that's just me. I hope he's healthy, I hope he plays. I'm sure it'll be a great game.
Kansas just got the win over Kentucky in the Champions Classic. Kentucky's second loss of the season. Down to Richmond as well, so 2, not that there are good losses, but losses to 2 good teams.
And Richmond's got the COVID bug and is on pause right now.
How about that from Altreek Gilbert?
Yeah, I'm sure Conzo Martin is going to talk about number 3 in white at halftime.
What Missouri tries here.
But Xavier Pinson's usually the guy that makes their late game decisions right there short on the jump shot. Wichita State just hanging around, and Altreek Gilbert is the reason why. Watch number 3 in white as he has been masterful in the offensive end. He's waiting for an on-ball screen, probably from Chandler Porbear.
Altreek Gilbert leads all scorers with 10.
Watch Jackson, number 25, go to the offensive glass.
Gilbert, oh, wow, what a drive.
Oh!
Cutting through the Missouri Tigers defense. Pickett from midcourt, off the mark. Altreek Gilbert with 12 first-half points for the Wichita State Shockers.
Wichita State is down by a dozen or more if this kid doesn't transfer from UConn. He has sliced and diced the Missouri defense, and Conzo Martin's going to have a discussion with the Tigers about it at halftime.
Missouri leading Wichita State 34-30 here at the Roundhouse in Wichita. Time for the E-Trade halftime report. After these messages, we join Kevin Connors and the guys. This week presented by Lowe's. It's the American Conference on ESPN. From Wichita, Kansas, the Roundhouse, Charles Koch Arena, Missouri leading Wichita State 34-30 at the break. Welcome you inside the Roundhouse alongside the former coach Mark Adams. I'm Chucky Kemp. Missouri got off to such a good start, but Wichita State weathered a little bit of a storm, weathered one late in the half. You could see their comfort level really settle in as the half went on.
Yeah, but the beginning of this game really set the tone for Missouri as they came in with a game plan and just pounded inside, and they did it early and often to Jeremiah Tillman.
Their first 9 baskets coming inside the paint.
I like what Conzo Martin did early. Get the big fellow involved, and Jeremiah Tillman was more than happy to oblige. Dunk after dunk, Drew Smith in the open court. giving it up again inside to Tillman from Drew Smith. This team is a running bunch of fools when they get out and rolling for the Missouri Tigers, and they can score in the paint as they showed here in the first half. But Chucky, as you mentioned, Altrique Gilbert played tremendous in the first half, and Clarence Jackson also was a good complement inside. That's the good news for the Shockers. As you take a look at Altrique Gilbert, 12 points. The grad transfer from UConn has come up huge for Wichita State. But the bad news, Tyson Etienne and Dexter Dennis have combined for a total of 2 points. 2 points. And Tyson Etienne was by far the best offensive weapon against Oral Roberts.
Well, if you're a Shocker fan, I think you look at that and you say Etienne had 2 points, had 26 against Oral Roberts, and we're only down 4 to a really talented Missouri team.
And he exploded in the second half against Oral Roberts. Let's see if Isaac Brown can dial up a set offensive play for Tyson Etienne early to get him a quality look.
The Shockers were down 9 with about 11 minutes to go, and Etienne scored 17 points in the final 11 minutes of that win over Oral Roberts. Immediate foul out of the inbound. Wichita State, again, they settled in, but what is it that you want to see more consistently from them at this end of the court?
Well, I'd like to see Tyson Etienne get in the flow. If I'm the head coach of the Shockers, like Isaac Brown, who's now the interim head coach, been on the job for a couple weeks. I'm sure he's visiting with his staff, Lou Gaudino and also Billy Kennedy. We're talking about you got to get your best player involved. There's Etienne right there, and he gets a shot early. Great job by Isaac Brown giving him a look.
Missouri wants to run again. Wichita State only had 8 players, as that's blocked off the backboard. They only had 8 players against Oral Roberts. They have a couple extra ones today, but they are still not fully staffed. Altrique Gilbert with a nice move, but wild shot misses. Pinson ahead to Mark Smith. And look at Mitchell Smith, says, I'll just get in the way here.
Yeah, that was like a crossing pattern in the NFL.
A little pick route?
Yeah, a little pick route right there.
Tigers strike first in the second half. They were tremendous in the first half against Oregon. Their energy never wavered. They had a little bit of a slow start in the second half, but Xavier Pinson led the charge to really regain that energy and put the Ducks away. Pinson saying, move, let's go. It's one interesting part. I know you would rather have the fans here, but one thing you do like is you can hear everything.
Yeah, I really like the communication that we hear right there as Xavier Pinson falls down.
Tyson Etienne, 26 points on Wednesday against Oral Roberts, just 2 today, both of them coming from the free throw line.
And the thing you've got to worry about now, will he press or will he just go back to cutting hard without the basketball, getting himself open, being patient, letting the game come to him?
Dennis, shot by Mitchell Smith inside on Udeze. They go into Udeze. Along the baseline, 5 to shoot for Trey Wade. Udeze wraps around, off the back iron, and Drew Smith has the rebound.
Yeah, Mitchell Smith just built a fence around the basket against Udeze. Great pass, too.
Kobe Brown driving. He slipped and fell.
Yeah.
We need a towel out there.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
Saw that in the first half a couple times as well.
Yeah, for some reason that area has been slick. They're going to mop it up here a little bit.
It's Doug Sermon saying, hey, let's get this cleaned up. We've seen this a few times, few too many times. Ready to go. Tigers inbound underneath. Mitchell Smith, big size advantage on Trey Wade. Kobe Brown thinking about it. Spinning, great move and a left-hand finish.
Kobe Brown provides some inside depth. He's starting this half. He just came up huge on that play. That was impressive.
He's one of the few young guys on this team, just a sophomore, and a very experienced Missouri Tigers team.
Boy, good cut by Tyson Etienne. Probably had an avenue to put the ball right up, but chose to bring it out.
Look at this from Mark Smith. Dennis working. Tough three. What a shot from Dexter Dennis.
Well defended. Sometimes the O is just a little better than the X. And that time the offense was just a little bit better from Dexter Dennis. Boy, can he guard. He just took away the dribble penetration route from Pinson.
Block called as Kobe Brown was driving on Udeze. How about this?
Dexter Dennis. Tell you what, he gets nowhere with the dribble. And Mark Smith all over him. Little crossover there and just knocks it down. That's not exactly the way I draw it up, but it sure turned out pretty good. That's a lot of dribbling to get that shot, a contested jump shot, but Dexter Dennis good enough to knock it down.
Dennis averaged just 9 points per game last season, but he is a guy that can get hot for the Shockers. Brown hits the first one. Coming up 5 Eastern on ESPN, it's Kentucky, the 20th ranked team in the nation, taking on Georgia Tech in Atlanta. That's on ESPN and the ESPN app. 5 Eastern, busy day of college hoops on our ESPN family of networks.
Bunch of freshmen, B.J. Boston for John Calipari. The UK Wildcats.
Not unusual for them to have those growing pains. Always a young, talented group.
You know what's going to be really interesting, Chucky, is to see how that young group can progress in this COVID environment when sometimes practices are at a premium.
Isaiah Pourbaix-Chandler off his hand. Here goes Pinson, slicing and dicing. It gets blocked from behind. And now Etienne pulls up for 3. Nice job to keep that alive by Dexter Dennis. He's going right back to the hoop. Gilbert, contact, and Missouri has it. A little bit of a circus on both ends right now. Mark Smith, contact there, and he's going to the line for 2 shots. Isaac Brown taking over as head coach. He's got a special connection to him personally, Billy Kennedy, on the Wichita State bench. In Wichita State, 40-33 here at the Roundhouse, and Isaac Brown, when he was named head coach, I think had one guy on mind to bring in to fill that assistant coaching void. Billy Kennedy, 361 career wins. He was a 2-time Ohio Valley Conference Coach of the Year when he was at Murray State between 2006 and 2011. 2 Sweet 16 appearances when he was at Texas A&M. And Isaac Brown knew he was the guy he wanted to come in. Hired him on November 22nd. It's just been a couple weeks since he joined the team, but they have a very special connection. You talk about Isaac Brown, who gets thrown into a situation with adversity, with challenges. He brings in a guy like Billy Kennedy, who's had plenty of those challenges in his own personal life and coaching career.
You know, I talked to Isaac Brown the night before he hired Billy Kennedy, and he told me, Mark, you're going to really like this hire. And I love this hire. Why? You know, back when Billy was named as the head coach at Texas A&M, he soon was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And I asked Billy yesterday, what have you learned from having Parkinson's? And he said, I've learned how to ask people for help. Think about what Isaac Brown has done now, becoming the head coach of Wichita State. He realized he needed help. And who did he call on? The man who understands how to ask for help as well. And that's Billy Kennedy. What a wonderful match of mentor, friends, that sit on that bench together. I love the hire.
You had a chance, Mark, to talk to Isaac Brown about his relationship with Billy Kennedy.
It's meant the world to me. I met Billy when I was in 11th grade. I was a high school basketball player in Mississippi. He was an AAU coach in New Orleans. When I got to Texas A&M, he was one of the assistant coaches on the staff with Kermit Davis. He recruited me. Over the years, he's been a big-time mentor for me, and I just felt like he would be the perfect fit to come in here, and these guys would love him.
Well, I know you love him. I think they've got a really great mind on their bench as Isaac Brown. In a lot of ways, Mark, the way I look at it, I don't know how you see it, I look at this as a chance for Isaac Brown to prove it. Prove that he belongs as the head coach at Wichita State.
Absolutely. He has proven himself as an assistant coach, and he has the opportunity now to prove himself as a head coach. But I can tell you this, after watching video, scouting, on-floor coaching. Isaac Brown is the head coach, and I hope he ends up to be the permanent head coach of Wichita State, because I believe under these circumstances, this program needs stability. And I think Isaac Brown can bring stability to this community and to this basketball program.
Community that rallies around this program and this university. You see the two right there together. You see that a lot.
Yeah,
those two talking on the sideline.
You know, Isaac shared with me yesterday that during the Oral Roberts game that there was a time when they got down 7-8 points. And I saw it actually on television where Billy was in his ear and he was telling him, just be patient. Be positive with the guys. They'll come back. They trust you. They believe in you. And that's exactly what Isaac Brown did. And the Shockers came back and won that game.
Big shot from Drew Smith. And Missouri has come out of our first media timeout and built a 16-point lead.
Well, this Missouri team plays with a Conzo Martin toughness. And if you ever saw Conzo Martin play at Purdue and then play professionally overseas, a little bit of time in the NBA, and then you watch his teams at Missouri State like I did, up close and personal, this is a Conzo Martin basketball team, Missouri fans. This is what you've been waiting for from this head coach. This team is legit.
Nice move right there from Clarence Jackson, who has been a bright spot for Wichita State early on in this game. Had some big buckets off the bench. But Missouri's just been relentless.
That's a great word, Chucky. That's exactly what they've been. They have out-toughed Wichita State, and they out-toughed Oregon the other night, too. It's a good team.
Tigers right back to work. And here comes Trevin Wade for Wichita State. Just one of their last 7 from the field.
Well, Isaac Brown is dealing with every possible negative issue of 8 scholarship players available. Just a very difficult circumstance coming into this game.
Foul on the 3-point shot. Coming up at 5 Eastern on ESPN. 20th ranked Kentucky and Georgia Tech square off in Atlanta. It's on ESPN and the ESPN app. You know, we sat here, Mark, before the game, and we're thinking Missouri is picked 10th in the SEC. And we started thinking, one, there's no way. But also, how high can they really climb? When you look at the SEC, who is that team or teams that aren't possibly going to finish outside the top 3? And the only one, and we haven't even seen them yet this year, that we think could be that team is Tennessee. Outside of that, and even then, I think Missouri has a chance.
Yeah, this team was picked 10th, as you mentioned. I watched them against Oregon, and I'm saying, holy cow. And then, you know, I always look at my blue ribbon before the season, and I'm reading about the SEC, knowing I'm going to do Missouri, and I'm looking at it and saying, they're picked 10th? Wait a minute. Drew Smith's pretty good. Mark Smith's pretty good. Xavier Pinson's really good. And I heard that Jeremiah Tillman is like in shape. I couldn't believe they were picked 10th. Somebody's smoking something, and it's only legal in certain states.
Well, the first time in Conzo Martin's head coaching career of back-to-back sub-500 seasons, 15-16 last year, 15-17 the previous year. So they haven't been bad. They just haven't been able to get over the hump.
In a league where LSU lost to St. Louis, by the way, St. Louis is really good. The A-10 is going to be tremendous. Kentucky lost to Richmond, speaking of the A-10. Richmond picked to win that league. South Carolina lost to Liberty, who's really good. We saw them up close and personal, Richie McKay's bunch. And then Mississippi State also lost to Liberty. So you look at the SEC right now, Tennessee's really good. Who's the next best team I've seen? I like these guys.
Yep. And it's early. It is really early. This is a crazy season with unbelievable circumstances. But I would say because of that and the experience that Missouri has, more power to them. Point Missouri in that category. Got to get something off. End of the shot clock. Rims out.
Boy, the energy on the Missouri bench, too, is just contagious.
Great find in the corner.
Who wants
ripped
the basketball?
Away from Trey Wade.
Who wants the
Everybody on
basketball?
the floor. Jump ball belongs to the Tigers. When we come back, 11:23 to play in Wichita, Missouri by 15 over Wichita State in an empty Charles Koch Arena. Missouri by 15. Drew Smith, Mark, he's just hooping.
Drew Smith's one of those guys that came out passing early, making everybody better. Conzo Martin calls him the best two-way player in the SEC, and I am not going to argue with Conzo Martin. This dude has done it offensively, defensively, high IQ for the game, makes everybody better on his team. I love the level that he's playing at right now. This is a veteran team. When they smell blood in the water, they are sharks circling.
Kobe Brown gets a nice feed from up top. It rims out. He goes to the line for 2. There's 11 to go. And so you wonder, how can Wichita State erase 15 points? But you look at what Missouri got back, returned their top 7 scores, 88% of their scoring. This is a big team across the board, too, and a very experienced team.
You know, Chucky, this team's having fun. There were times last year when I watched this team and they just seemed to kind of be there. This year they're more engaged, they're more together, they're more like a Conzo Martin team. He teaches life's lessons. Here's a guy that came up growing up in East St. Louis. His mother taught him how to be a good person, how to listen and learn, how to find good mentors. And Conzo Martin has taken it upon himself to be that mentor for these young men at Missouri. And this team has grown exponentially since last season.
Wichita State down 17. They got 11 minutes to erase that deficit, Mark. What's the recipe for that?
The recipe is if you can get into gaps and make some plays like that, I got to tell you, Chucky, the Missouri defense is so stingy. This is going to be a heck of an uphill climb. And the guards just have to go off for Wichita State, because inside, this team doesn't score very well. So Altrique Gilbert, Tyson Etienne, Dexter Dennis, guys like that have to take over this game. I don't know if they're capable against this physical, rugged, tough Missouri Tiger basketball team.
Nice little 1-2 punch there from Brown to Tillman, but it rims out. One note for Wichita State fans, Ricky Council the fourth, a freshman from Durham, North Carolina, who did not play in the opener, is out there right now for the Shockers. He was one of the 2 that got added to their 8 guys who were available on Wednesday. A couple more available today. Ricky Council is one of them. He just got the bucket on the other end.
He just came ago. They've been practicing with 8 along the way. Hey, Chucky, also, I want to give a shout out to Kelvin Sampson and Kellen Sampson. First of all, who I know Kellen's been a little bit under the weather, possibly COVID. Kelvin has been part of the contact tracing and could not coach Houston yesterday. And to Quantus White, who was thrown into the head coaching position literally minutes before the game. And you talk about a culture of toughness at Houston. And Quantus White leading the way to that victory for the Houston Cougars without Marcus Sasser, by the way, and without Caleb Mills. What a job by Quantus. Quantus, I've always been a fan. Yesterday, an even bigger fan as Houston knocked off South Carolina. What a culture win for the Houston Cougars.
Having your guys ready, not just the players who might have to step up, but coaches who might have to step up into more prominent roles.
Having coached against and with Kelvin, I'm glad I was not in his living room watching the game with him. He would have been insufferable. Karen Sampson, you are a saint.
Drew Smith and Missouri, they are just getting downhill. Conzo Martin will sleep soundly tonight if they continue this for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, he might sleep soundly through March Madness. It's a really good basketball team.
You like tough teams too?
I love tough teams, and Houston showed their toughness last night. St. Louis, that's 5 returning starters on St. Louis, knocked off LSU. Liberty, we saw them up close and personal. Good luck guarding those guys. And then Richmond, who's under COVID protocol right now, but that is a dangerous team in the Atlantic 10. Those are tough teams who can go on the road and win games consistently.
Missouri gets a crack at Liberty on Wednesday in Columbia.
That'll be fun. And Missouri fans, don't sleep on Liberty. Just take our advice. That's a good basketball team Richard McKay's got put together. Those dudes can flat shoot it.
Ricky Council, tough shot. He'll go to the line for 2 shots. Just fits the mold of a Wichita State guy. I mean, just a big, strong guard, athletic. Just a factory.
Well, they've had some pretty good guards here at Wichita State, I understand.
All right, just a couple.
You know, Fred Van Vliet, Ron Baker, Clee Anthony Early. Played more of a three-man for Greg Marshall's Wichita State Shockers at that time. Takale Cotton was one of the greatest defenders I've watched in college basketball over the years. A lot of tough, play-angry guards here at Wichita State over the years.
Fred Van Vliet's going to have his phone ringing with Wichita area codes after he just signed a 4-year, $85 million deal with the Toronto Raptors.
Nobody deserves it more than Fred Van Vliet. I watched him as a freshman, watched him overcome the death of his father when he was at a very young age and just become a tremendous father in his own right today and husband. Fred Van Vliet, I am happy for you. And I got a first-row seat watching your college career, nothing better than that. And I know you're watching right now, too. And might be yelling at the television a little bit.
I'm hoping these Shockers can get it going with 9 minutes to play. Dexter Dennis fires away. Good look for Dennis, and it's down to 13.
We got to get Dexter Dennis going a little bit. Done better in the second half, had a little bit more hop in his step.
Missouri has shown through the first couple games they can play a lot of different styles of basketball as they try to slow it down here. Tuesday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. The exclusive reveal of the College Football Playoff Top 25 rankings, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Reese and the guys will break down everything from top to bottom in a live interview with committee chairman Gary Barta.
Chucky, you brought up the different styles of the Conzo Martin basketball team where they can pound it inside on you. They can dribble the ball to the rim and finish. Now, they have been a questionable three-point shooting team. That could be the Achilles heel on certain nights, but defense and rebound travels. And that's where they've improved, I think, leaps and bounds over a year ago. And Dexter Dennis now is starting to heat it up, and that might make this thing interesting.
Mentioned Dexter Dennis, 9 points per game last year, but he had 25 against SMU, a game where he hit 7 threes. He can get hot in a hurry. And all of a sudden, Wichita State clawing their way back in. Tillman, tough finish and gets the roll.
He drew 3 white jerseys on that play and still got the ball off the glass softly. Jeremiah Tillman is playing for his team now versus for himself. He is selfless out there.
Wade short. Here's Pinson. He was wanting to try and fire something down the court.
See, I wonder where they're going to go. I think number 23, they've been going to him like every possession, which is smart.
Here he is working with Pinson.
He's going to go settle down on the block here in a minute. He's got a mismatch with Dennis now. Of course, Dennis can guard anybody.
Pinson lost it, kicks it out, 2 to shoot. Mitchell Smith, contested 3. What a shot from Mitchell Smith. A 15-point lead for Missouri. Well, Conzo Martin, a voice of experience as we celebrate V-Week on ESPN. Missouri up 15 on Wichita State here in Wichita, Kansas. It is V-Week on ESPN as we continue our fight against cancer. Conzo Martin had his own fight when he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at age 26. He was playing pro in Italy. He collapsed at a practice, and he talked to us about his fight with cancer.
Went through chemotherapy for 4.5 months, and that just, wow. That is painful, powerful, whatever you... A tough experience, and the only thing I did, I just prayed to God, just allowed me to see Joshua turn 18. That was it. I mean, he was 4.5 months. I mean, August. I just said, let me see Joshua turn 18, and whatever happens after that happens. Now he's 19 years old. He's a freshman at Purdue, so it's bonus for me right now.
Conzo Martin, Mark, I think inspires his players. We got a chance to talk to him last night. I think I could listen to him talk all night long. Just an extremely wise a guy who talks about his passion for life and his passion for people. He's had such a great coaching career already. And you had a very special experience when he was at Missouri State back in 2011 and they won the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, I called the regular season championship game against these Shockers of Wichita State. And I asked Cuonzo Martin about his experience with cancer. And Chucky, I saw him physically change. He actually started shaking. He couldn't even say the word cancer at that time. And now to see him here and to witness next to him, as I stood next to him when Missouri State won their first Valley championship, and talking about surviving cancer and now being the coach of the Missouri Valley Conference championship team, just an inspirational story.
Well, Cuonzo Martin's team has started off fantastically this season as they are on their way to 3-0. They lead Wichita State by 15. During these challenging times, ESPN and the V Foundation's fight against cancer has not stopped. If you're able, please support cancer research by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of what you give goes to cancer research.
By the way, Chucky, this is the week that my co-author Jeff Van Fleet and I, for the Coach and the Geek, Building a Kick Butt Culture, we will make our donation based upon part of the proceeds of our book to the V Foundation, and we're proud to do it. We invite everyone to do the same.
One of the most important weeks of the year on ESPN as Mitchell Smith goes sailing into the wall between the stands and the court.
Well, who wants a loose ball, right? Yeah, I like that Jackson kid. James Jackson can play for me all day long.
I'm interested to see how this Wichita State team, I think in the next 3 to 4 weeks, as they get everybody back and they start to get comfortable, I think you're going to see, and I've already been impressed at times. We know these guards can play, but I think you're going to see a team really transform as the Shockers fans watch their team transition.
Yeah, the key is, can they practice with all their guys?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the first step forward.
A travel called on Parker Brown.
Yeah, this is shuffling of the feet. Just watch the feet. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Nice job getting to the rim, though. He sold it, I'll say that.
How's that work out in the Brown household? Parker at MU, brother Christian at KU. Etienne rises and fires. They cannot get Tyson Etienne going. He has 5 points, all of them from the stripe. He's 0 for 5 from deep, 0 for 8 overall.
Yeah, he's just had a tough day. And while his game has suffered here today, I'll tell you, the kid is just a leader, what he's done with his social presence and Black Lives Matter marches and delivering food to needy people in his hometown in the Harlem area of New York City. Just a tremendous young man. Tyson Etienne is just an inspiration. There he is marching in New York City for Black Lives Matter. He's got that basketball with him, man. I just love that shot. I love the dedication. I love the fact that he's using his platform in the right way to help needy people. There he is bringing food to those in need in the Harlem area. Just a fine young man. His parents should be proud of him. He struggled on the court today, but you know what? That's not the most important thing about this kid in his life. And Tyson Etienne, right on cue. Thank you very much.
He's just a sophomore. He's their top returning scorer from a year ago at 9.5 points per game. He is going to be a stud. Another one in a long line of great guards at Wichita State. They're down just 12. They're still down just 12 as Pinson's fouled. Gilbert and Udeze trying to double him.
But this is what Tyson Etienne did. Look at his balance right there. Look at that release. Got the gooseneck followed through. And he's a strong guard. He's worked so hard on his game. When you talk about Wichita State basketball, the best players that I saw was like a Ron Baker, Fred VanVleet. Why? They were in the gym, the first guys, and the last guys leave. They constantly worked on their game. Tyson Etienne is cut out of the same mold. First guy in, last guy out. He really works at his craft.
Pinson can't get the second. It's a 13-point game, and Wichita State needs to get buckets in a hurry. Missouri hadn't had a field goal in almost 3 minutes. Here's Etienne. Little check there at the top by Drew Smith. It's the 4th team foul on Missouri.
Chucky, these early season games like this can solidify your foundation and your culture, and that's what I see from Missouri. Look, this is a team that went through the School of Hard Knocks last year, but they're giving out some hard knocks this year. You can tell by the way they carry themselves. I'm telling every SEC coach, you better pay attention to these guys.
Nice block from Udeze. Now here's Ricky Council. Strong take, can't get the bucket. He's got 2 free throws on the other side. 3:59 to play. Wichita State needs to get hot in a hurry. They trail by 13. The presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's, home for the holidays. Well, Mark Adams, what'd you do this week?
I had a blast at Fort Riley, Kansas, where I got the opportunity to meet the fighting men and women under the command of Colonel Brian Shivers, the 1st Combat Aviation Brigade. I also got a chance to see all of the men and women in action under the direction of 3-1 Assault Helicopter Battalion Lieutenant Colonel Raymond Santiago and my son, Captain Jimmy Adams, who commands Echo Forward Support Company. And you talk about a squared away, buttoned up bunch of men and women. That fighting force is ready to rock and roll, and I got to stand next to an Apache helicopter where my old friend Mark Parrish, former captain of the United States Army, served in Desert Shield and Desert Storm, and all I could think about was him getting in that cockpit. Chucky, I was inspired, and I want to thank Colonel Shivers, Lieutenant Colonel Santiago, and my son, and I hope I don't get emotional about it, Captain Jimmy Adams. What a wonderful experience I had at Fort Riley. Thanks for the hospitality. It was a wonderful experience, and ESPN collectively says, hooah, to all those fine Army men and women up at Fort Riley.
And I'm hoping they didn't let you get too close to that helicopter. I saw you standing next to it. I'm hoping they didn't let you get in or anything like that. We don't need anything like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the drone, I was ready to fly that puppy. That drone was looking pretty cool, man. I wanted to get on there and get those controls and start flying it over Wichita. There I am. I was ready to get in that cockpit and start letting that baby. I was going to do a test drive on that thing. But unfortunately, I had 3 officers came around and carried me off. It was a blast. I'm so proud of Jimmy. I'm so proud of the United States Army and being an Army father and an Army family.
Wichita State down by 13. They've hung around though, Mark. You know, as good as Missouri's been, Wichita State's hung around. Things like this. Alterique Gilbert to the hoop. He does get called for a charge though as Mark Smith steps in.
Yeah, Mark Smith was just waiting for it. When you do your job, you're studying video, you understand tendencies of players. That's where, again, a veteran team that's been around together, they've been through the wars together, the good time and bad, and that's when you start making winning plays. That's what Missouri has learned how to do. Win close games and make winning plays like Mark Smith stepping and take the charge.
Missouri content to take their time, let the clock tick. They go into Tillman. Pinson for 3. Gilbert has it. Shockers need to go in a hurry. Etienne wide open for 3. Able to run it down, right back to it, gets the second one.
Like a defensive back with a short memory, right? That's what we want from Tyson Etienne.
Back in 30 seconds in Wichita. The Shockers down 10. Next Monday Night Football matchup has Josh Allen and the AFC East leading Bills taking on the 49ers, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. ABC as well this week, ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6. Bills looking to win the AFC East for the first time since 1995. Wichita State down 10. Needs stops and buckets. Etienne just hit the 3. Mark Smith didn't want to take time that time, wanted to bucket.
Took the charge on one end, took it to the rim on the opposite end. Winning plays, Chucky. That's the difference in this team. They've learned how to win the hard way, but they've learned well.
Tough shot from Council. Gilbert, mid-range. That's happened a lot today. I mean, the Shockers just rims out so much.
That's bad luck right there. With a limited roster, this Shocker team, under Isaac Brown, they've had some good spots in this game. They just can't sustain it. I think a lot of that's just because they don't have the bodies. That's the other thing, too. I mean, I've been in this house, Chucky, for the biggest of the big games at Wichita State. And not having fans here, the energy. Look, there are my two favorite places in college basketball is the UD Arena, the Dayton Decibel Dungeon at University of Dayton, and the Roundhouse here at Wichita. The fans understand the game. They are rabid. I mean, the disadvantage of the Shockers on this home court with what they lose from their fans is stark by comparison as we sit here today. I miss them. I mean, some of the great memories I've had in this building throughout my broadcast career is because of the fans at Wichita State. And it's just a shame they can't be here. And you got Ron Baker, Fred Van Vliet, you got Cleanthony Early, Xavier McDaniel, Landry Shamet, and there will be two banners that go up there in a hurry. And it's Fred Van Vliet and Ron Baker. Those two guys will be the next two banners that go up in this building. And nobody more deserving than two of the hardest working guards and two of the best people I've ever met in college basketball. Fred Van Vliet and Ron Baker.
Van Vliet, an NBA champion with the Toronto Raptors, just signed a new deal. 10,500 strong in this building on a normal night. And you just wonder, how much will they really miss him this year? How many of those close games that come down to the wire could be swung by the fans in this building?
A lot. That's why they don't lose here. That's part of it. One thing, they've had great players, but the other, they've got tremendous fans. There's Clarence Jackson again. Clarence Jackson, bright spot. This dude could be a star here. He understands the motor it takes to compete at this level. Just doesn't stop. Energizer bunny kind of guy, an energy giver. I love Clarence Jackson.
Jackson today, 12 points, 6 rebounds. Just a sophomore from Dublin, Georgia, but new to the Wichita State program out of Polk State College.
One shot, guys. One. Play one.
Trying to finish off a three-point play and cut it to 11, but with 1:30 to go. Shockers need a miracle. Kobe Brown rips it down.
And you know, Chucky, the reason they need a miracle is because this Missouri team, they're just so good because they're so experienced.
He's still playing. You want to endear yourself to your teammates and the fan base. Do something like that when you're down double digits with a minute to go.
And he'd be the guy that would lead that fan base to blow on the roof off this place. They get it when a dude plays hard. He plays hard.
Mark Smith, the dagger.
Wow. Chucky, I'm impressed. SEC, you better figure this thing out. Missouri's good. I mean, like, really good. I've had some great memories here. This was New Year's Eve several years ago, the Dumb and Dumber game, as we like to call it. And Chucky, that is stylish without being gaudy. The orange tuxedo. And I got to tell you, I'm looking at Fred's face right here. Fred did not want to do that interview. Now, he was gracious enough, he did it. But I mean, he looked at me like, man, I don't want to go on camera with you. Because, you know why? Because he knew that picture would come up again someday.
Yeah.
He was a good sport.
Did you say stylish without?
Oh, yeah,
being
that's
gaudy?
stylish without. You should
Okay.
see it when I'm gaudy.
Okay.
Hey, that has orange patent leather shoes and an orange cane that goes along with it. Jim Carrey didn't wear it as well as I did.
Oh, my goodness.
That was fun. Rich Hollenberg was in a baby blue tuxedo. It was just the best. And the fans were so good. We had so much fun together. I miss them.
TCU, Oklahoma coming up next on ESPN2. We'll take a quick stop in the studio. Before then, Big 12 conference play starts for those two teams.
Check
at
out
the end,
Kevin.
coast to coast.
Check out Kevin Samuel from TCU, by the way. He is a double-double monster inside. Now here's the downhill. Here's that strength of Tyson Etienne. Etienne comes from the Greek word Stephanos, which means crown. Could he be the next king of Cocorina? How about that for research?
I'll tell you what, I learned something. I learned a lot of stuff. Some stuff I don't want to learn. We've only done a few games together. I've got all kinds of information. I'm trying to filter it. Is this good or bad,
just
or
think
what do I
tonight,
need to do?
When you go home with your lovely bride, just think orange tuxedo, baby.
Yeah.
Just think orange tuxedo. It's on rent. I'll rent it to you for about $250 because that's what I paid for it. That's how stupid I am. Dumb and dumber.
Kobe Brown with a two-handed dunk. Missouri will improve to 3-0 on the season. It is a tough week for them ahead, Mark Adams. They have Liberty on Wednesday, and then it's bragging rights next Saturday.
And Missouri knows where their bread's buttered. They just keep going to the paint, man, and dunking it on heads. Yeah, Liberty's no joke. Darius McGee is a guard that went for 21 against Purdue, 23 in the win against Mississippi State. Chris Parker is a down here guard. Now both of them are munchkins. They're like 5'8", 5'9", but both of them get downhill and play. And the way they space the floor against this pressure defense of Missouri, Chuck, it's going to be really interesting to see how Missouri guards them because they tend to spread you, and then they space you, and then they move ball, which gets you into rotations, and they expose you that way. So it's going to be a tremendous game against Liberty.
Another foul against Missouri on the rebound. The missed free throw. Clarence Jackson still working.
Yeah, this kid's going to be in the starting lineup for sure. He's too good, he's too active, he's too angry, and I mean that in the most positive way.
You lose Echenike from a year ago, who was such a good big man, could really move, do a lot of different things, and now as you try to figure things out, is it Udeze, is it Isaiah Poorbear Chandler, who fills that role? Is there a possibility we see the small ball from Wichita State, the ultra small ball?
Yeah, great observation. I was just thinking that same thing, where you go with 4 or 5 guards along the way, and this would be a team that could do that because we've seen the athleticism of Wichita State. We might see some adjustments and go some small ball for this team, go quickness.
The Missouri Tigers are 3-0, a fist pump from Konzo Martin. And what a performance from Missouri, picked 10th in the SEC. I don't know about that.
I know about it. They're not 10th. They're more like 1, 2, or 3 in the SEC. Go ahead and write it down right now and let me know how I do in March. But this is a veteran team that returned their 7 top scores. 88% of their scoring came back this season, and they back it up. They win against Oregon on a neutral site, then go on the road here and win in the Roundhouse. A tremendous win for Konzo Martin.
Mark Smith, a big day for him. 19, 6 rebounds, a little bit of everything for the Missouri Tigers.
This mature roster, they also understood who's hot and when. And Mark Smith was the recipient of a lot of opportunities to score offensively. This Missouri team is, in a word, dangerous.
Isaac Brown, I think he's got a talented group with Wichita State. For my partner, Mark Adams, producer Major Howe, director Lou Cussero, and our entire crew, I'm Chucky Kempf. Missouri is 3-0. They beat Wichita State 72-62 here at the Roundhouse. Coming up next, the Big 12 kicks off conference play with Oklahoma taking on TCU. So long, everyone, from Wichita.